Hi, I'm Kelly Camille Patterson. I was just interviewed by Keith Andrew. Great time. I highly recommend his show, and you should watch.
The whole point of my talk show is to show you that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, so prove them and still amount to something. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith Andrew, and it's episode 1068. That is right, 1068. This will be shared on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and all social media. That's right, 1068. I'm here as a good friend. Real honor and privilege to have you as a guest. We just heard from your recommendation. Now, with that being said, it's time for the interview. With that being said, as you see, the border on the screen is a holiday edition, and there is Christmas music in the background. Obviously, they didn't have Hanukkah music, but it's the nice time of the year. We have friends, you have family, and it's really peaceful for the holidays. So the first question I want to ask you is, what are you doing for the holidays, and tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
So, for the holidays, okay. One thing about me is I go all out decorating inside my house for the holidays. So, I actually lost count of how many Christmas trees I have, but it's over 50. I'm addicted to Christmas trees. But with that being said, I have all these trees. I go all out. I do the crazy decorating, and then I leave. My husband and I go up to my family's house in New Hampshire for Christmas.
No, like I said, it's the wonderful time of year. And I'm continuing my theme on the holidays in January. And as you know, January, it's dark, it's cold, it's depressing, but why not just keep the lights up, just keep anything colorful, it cheers you up. Then in February, you can take it down.
I redo the Christmas tree. Well, I put up the Christmas tree first, the big one, for Halloween. I actually have 2 Halloween trees, and then I completely redecorated for Thanksgiving. And then now it's Christmas. And then I redecorate it in January for January because it's too depressing to take it all down. So I just keep it up and I redo it with like snowflakes and snowmen and stuff. So I don't have the Christmas stuff there, but it's just like kind of winter.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And it's funny, I want your opinion. I created a new holiday called Christmaka. And for people who don't know what Christmaka is, half Hanukkah, half Christmas.
Why not? The holiday. I feel like the holidays are there, to do with them what you will. So yeah, go for it.
No, I agree with you. Now, do you have any big plans for the holidays? What is coming up for you?
Yeah, we go up to my family's right before Christmas, and we see my husband's family too. And then, we're actually starting. We have 2 films that we're starting to make, so that's kind of we got to get through the holiday season and then get back to those. So that's what's coming up.
Well, you brought up a good subject, and if you're interested, I would love to work with you. Maybe you'd be interested in writing a film or directing a film about me.
Why not? I'm always looking for things to do films about.
No, absolutely. So the first one I want to ask you is go back 3 years ago. And it's really cool. As we're talking, we have special effects on the screen. It's really cool. The first thing I want to ask you is about the coronavirus. Now, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but in a way, do you think it's a blessing in disguise? And let me explain what I mean, a blessing in disguise. before Best Filmmaker 2019, people said, you know what, I like to work from home. I like to stay home, don't have to leave my house. Obviously, the cases went up, and then you were on a lockdown. But how is that a blessing, you may ask? For me, it gave me an idea to just sit back and refocus my life. Put my priorities in gear, saying what's really important to me. Obviously, I'm not going anywhere, now God willing, but what can I do at this time? And that's why I focus more on my talk show. So, question I want to ask you, do you think it kind of was a blessing in disguise because it gave you a break from normal work to actually help you focus on doing things that you actually wanted to do?
The way I would put it would be, it gave me time to, well, be with my husband, because he could already work from home because because of Hurricane Sandy and Hurricane Irene, because we're in New York. So like he was stuck at home anyway. So they already got him online. It was definitely a time to slow down. I have so many friends who were really just devastated by it. So I hesitate to call it a blessing, but I think that you can find, if you look for the opportunities in a situation, you can find them.
No, absolutely. I do apologize. I don't want you to think I'm an asshole. I'm like, what?
Oh, no, I don't think
people are. It's like people are dying, and how the hell is he saying it's a blessing? I mean, you always.
No, I knew what you meant.
But
I knew what you meant.
I appreciate that. But you always look for the silver lining. It's not always going to be dark and gloomy. It's like, yes, obviously, took 3 years. Now there's vaccines and things are slowly going back to normal. But you're not going to crawl into your bed and say, don't bother me for the next 3 years. Maybe come up with a hobby. If you're a writer, bang some books out. There's always something to be positive about.
Oh yeah, I took classes online. Yeah, there were definitely a lot of things moved online, and we were already doing self-tapes, but now that's become the norm.
The next one I want to ask you, it's very interesting. I found it very interesting. You are a producer like I am. What were some of your favorite films that you're working on right now?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm working on one that's going to be like a comic Christmas horror film that we hope to have done for next Christmas. And then I'm doing another one where I'm playing 4 roles in the film. So that's going to be an editing challenge.
So you're like the main star, supporting writer, and director.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, that's kind of what
I'm
I
actually
do.
For roles. I'm actually all the roles in the film are me. So.
Hey, that says a lot about you. That you have amazing talent.
Oh, thank you.
The next question I want to ask, and actually, people who are interested, wanting to work with you, are you always looking for volunteers? Is your company online? Is there like a website?
Yes, it's Open Container Productions, and it's opencontainerproductions@gmail.com. We're not really at the point of hiring anyone yet for these films. We hired a bunch of people for the film we did last year, but yeah, I mean, of course, if you just want to be on our radar, opencontainerproductions@gmail.com.
That's funny. I've been asked. I worked in retail for a long time. I used to work over at Walmart before. I wasn't fired. I left because my family has medical conditions. And at the time, we didn't know what the pandemic was. So I left, and I'm like, you know what? I'm a talk show host. I have diarrhea of the mouth and I like talking to people. Why not reach out to production companies and say, hey, I have a talk show. I've been doing this for 10 and a half years. Would you be interested in hiring me? Like, I don't know, $10 per interview, and I can give you publicity. Like, for an example, for on out there, if you're interested, you can hire me, and then I can interview the stars of your program and your films, and I can help you get more exposure.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
well, not to put you on the spot, obviously.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I know. I got to get the films made first, but
because as you know, being a talk show host and being a filmmaker, absolutely, it's not a 9-to-5 job. It would be really nice if it was a 9-to-5 job, but as long as, maybe you agree with this, as long as it doesn't feel like it's work, you enjoy it. Once you feel like it becomes a job, then you kind of get tired of it, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, and there are so many times I get tired of it. but it's what I do. I mean, it's not just because I get tired of it doesn't mean I would quit. Like that would kill me. So I just try to get through the bad days.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I want to ask you, who are some of the favorite people that you grew up watching that you want to work with in some of your films?
Oh boy. Well, the person that I would absolutely love to work with more than anyone in the world, Carol Burnett.
She was really funny.
Just an idol of mine. Turn off my phone here. Who else? Fran Drescher. Just like the funny people.
Actually, it's funny you should mention that. I asked my parents this, but I want to ask you, if you had to pick between, they're both legends, so it's really hard to choose, George Carlin or Don Rickles. If you had to pick one person, who would it be?
Wow, that's rough. I can't say both.
No, you can.
I can't say both.
I like both of them, but
for different reasons. George Carlin is just brilliant. They're both brilliant, but for different reasons. I love how brash they both were, in totally different ways. One funny thing I heard about Don Rickles was apparently, with all of his insult comedy, apparently he was the nicest guy in the world. It's like his dirty little secret.
Yeah, I came across him recently and I fell in love with his work.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's so funny.
So the next one I want to ask you is, who inspired you to become an actress?
Wow. Okay, the first time I knew was I did a play in 8th grade, and I was just like, this is it. This is what I want to do. But right after that, my grandfather was in a production of Sound of Music. He was playing the butler, and my family and I went to see it. And the woman playing Maria, I was just like, oh my God. In her bio, she teaches voice. And so I was like, that's it. I want to take voice lessons from her. And then it just kind of went from there. I got lucky to meet a lot of people doing community theater when I was a teenager, who were really supportive. I worked with a guy who was a teacher, and then when I went to college, he ended up being one of the professors, so that was great. Just certain people along the way. There was a woman who long since gone, but one of my first dance teachers who was just so supportive. She used to be a dancer in the movies in the 30s. I mean, she was already in her 70s when I took dance with her, and she could dance me under the table. She was just still so like fit and, you know, still dancing. And I found that very inspiring.
Actually, I think these two, I haven't asked these two questions in a while. How do you handle stress and pressure when you're an actress and being a producer? I mean, filmmaker, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know, as a filmmaker, I think I handle it better because I have other people around me. So it's, I can reach out to someone I'm working with, someone on my team. So that's better. As an actor, I'm trying to teach myself to just step away. It's really one of my biggest lessons. Like when I'm having a lot of stress or something is really not going well, I'm trying to just force myself to get out of the house or, you know, go watch a movie or something, like some stupid movie that, you know, isn't culturally edifying. It's just that will make me laugh. You know, like nothing about learning or, you know, just go do something else because it's easy to get wrapped up, and I do. So just try to get out of the house or get out of my head.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. You know, if you're in, like in a confrontation or anything, or like in a bad state with somebody, do you feel backing and walking away is a sign of weakness, or does that make you the better person?
No, I definitely don't think it's a sign of weakness. I think you need to think about this person you're in the conflict with and think, is this someone I want to be in a relationship with at all? I stand my ground. I try to do it politely and with grace, but sometimes you just have to walk away.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So
the last question I want to ask you is social media. How can our fans and listeners get in touch with you? Are you on TikTok? Are you on LinkedIn, YouTube?
Yeah, I'm so bad about TikTok. I'm on there, but I'm so bad about it. But I'm Velveteen Lounge on TikTok, and on Instagram, Kelly Camille Patterson or Velveteen Lounge, or I have a very stupid Instagram called Ponytail Fail, where I post pictures of hairbands people drop on the ground. It's like my weird hobby. So those are my Instagrams. Facebook, Kelly Camille Patterson or Velveteen Lounge Kitsch-en, and YouTube, again, Kelly Camille Patterson or Velveteen Lounge Kitsch-en.
You know, for me, it's everywhere except for Twitter, because, you know, let me explain. Because Twitter, you know, only gives you a certain number of characters. So it was too long to have KeithAndrewNetWork. So it's like KeithAndrewNW. And it's like, no, that's stupid. So I call it KeithAndrew88. However, if you type in KeithAndrewNetwork, you get my Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. And I'm like, why can't Twitter just add 5 more letters? And I can have the complete name instead of saying, yeah, follow me here. Okay, and then on this website, it's KeithAndrew88. Okay, I mean, doesn't really go with anything, but it's there.
Yeah, I don't think I've logged on to Twitter in probably a year, but Kelly, because I had to be Kelly C. Patterson and not Kelly Camille Patterson because there was not enough letters. So,
but the next one.
Oh, and I'm on LinkedIn too.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn too, if anyone's interested.
Well, let me ask you while we're on the subject, social media. Obviously, you know, there's LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and all the other popular ones. would you recommend any websites that you use on a daily basis that says, you know what, it's not popular, but this is what really helps me grow my career?
Oh my gosh. Well, I recently signed up for UpToDateActor, which I love that site. That's great. And I got to meet the people the other day. They had a Christmas party, so I went, and they were lovely. Yeah, so I love UpToDateActor. I use Canva a lot. For my husband and I do a show on Wednesday nights on Facebook and YouTube where we make cocktails, and I use Canva for that all the time. What else do I use on a daily basis? Well, definitely like Google Docs and all that. For social media, Instagram and Facebook.
Well, would you agree or disagree that can social media make you or break you?
I suppose it could do either. I'm not great with social media, honestly. It can sometimes make me stressed. So I just, like I was saying earlier, I just step away. But it lets me keep in touch with a lot of people, and it lets me promote. So, it's just, I just try to find my happy medium, and it can break you. I mean, definitely if you're posting things that might come back to haunt you later. I'll just put it that way. You got to be careful, like maybe don't share every thought that goes through your head.
No, I agree with you. But here on the KeithAndrewNetWork, we openly express ourselves in a positive way, but we like to have fun. So here, we're going to make it great. We're going to make it wonderful. KeithAndrewNetWork, best place to go. I know someone who does that actually really perfectly. For me, it's kind of like, so-so. But as long as I get to make people laugh, that's all that really matters. It's not a competition.
Yeah.
But my last question... Exactly. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I agree. Make people laugh.
Now, it's the last 7 minutes. I'm going to pass it over to you. But I want you to be brutally honest. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what made you say yes? How do you feel now, and would you recommend to other people?
Yeah, I didn't really know much about it, so I went and looked at your stuff, and yeah, it looked great. There was nothing that scared me. Sometimes people approach you and you're like, I'm not sure about this. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Why not? I love talking to people, so and I think we need to get in the habit of talking to people.
No, I agree with you. A lot of people actually think I'm a scam. I was like, look, you want proof? I have proof. You want proof? I give you proof. I got recommendations. I got people that can back me. But seriously, I met people who are like, oh, you have your own company. You have this. Can I see some of your recommendations? I don't have time for that. That's a red flag. Someone says, can I see some of my recommendations? Yeah. Go to Facebook, go to LinkedIn, go to my website, but I actually don't have anymore. Long story about that. I used to have Vistaprint, but then Vistaprint changed their name, and I don't know, it's too much money. But my recommendations are on Facebook and LinkedIn. I'm like, yeah, I have over 125 people. You want to talk to people who I interviewed? You're more than welcome to. So I don't have anything to hide. 1068 interviews. If that's a scam, that's a good scam. But it isn't. It's kind of like, or I get people that say, how do you know I have a disability? No, I said, I have a learning disability, and by being on the show, oh, I see. But why do you want me on the show? I'm like, because I like bringing people together. I like giving people opportunities. You're making a new friend out of it. So it's a win-win. But
right.
But did you think I was a scam? When I be completely honest, When I first messaged you, did you think that?
No, because I feel like for something to be a scam, you have to be taking something from someone. I mean,
Right.
yeah, yeah, it's you're not taking anything from me, as far as I can tell. Yeah.
I make no money off my work.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're not taking money from me. Yeah. So I don't know how it could be a scam.
That's true. You know, it's people like to tear things down because they don't want to look into it. But then once they look into it, they kind of look foolish. It's like, oh, well, I didn't mean to say I don't want to deal with people like you. But then when their friends do it, or if there's a big celebrity involved, they're like, oh, man, it's a two-way to do your show. I apologize for what I said to you.
Oh my God. People are rude sometimes.
You can't fix stupid.
And stupid. Rude and stupid.
You can't fix stupid, but you can numb it with a 2x4. But my other question, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up, do you have any funny stories you'd like to share? Any funny pranks?
Oh, funny stories. Trying to think if anything's happened recently that's funny. Yeah, I gotta think about this one. I'm sure I do.
Well, here's one for you.
Okay.
I told my brothers, like, I know I have a fat neck, but I don't mean to eat too much. And he looks right at me, he's like, you say you want to go on a diet, but at the same time you say that you're eating a donut at the same
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that sometimes happens though. You know, we got to enjoy our lives.
Yesterday he said to me, you know, I want an extra, I don't know, piece of fruit or whatever. And he's like, Keith, I got a movie for you. A Fridge Too Far.
Man, that's brutal.
But you have to take everything funny. You can't take everything too seriously.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember
Yeah,
one
I don't know. I can't think of anything funny now.
I remember I worked at Amani Exchange. Nice store.
Yeah.
The people are kind of questionable. But I worked there and I said to this customer, oh, do you have this in an extra small? Well, yeah, it's small. I said, well, if you could buy a small and you put it in the washing machine, it's going to shrink. And this is for your son? And it's like, no, this is for me. Oh, don't worry, you can grow into it. It's like, Keith, just walk away. You're making it worse.
No. Oh,
when I'm funny, it's not funny. When I'm sarcastic, it's funny. It's interesting how that works out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I think with me, it's like situations. I sometimes get in situations that turn out to be funny later that were just definitely not funny at the time.
I sometimes mispronounce things on purpose. When I worked at Walmart, there's like Doreen sugarcane. And I'm like, okay, there's at least, let's see, 6 people around. Let's see if I can make any of them laugh. And I hold it up and I'm like, well, what is Doreen sugar diarrhea? It's like, Jesus, Keith, can't you read? I don't know. It's stupid funny, but the point of life is to have fun. Don't take things too seriously. But wrapping up our interview, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. This will be shared on all social medias. Our goal is to reach 100 views. If you're watching, definitely leave a comment. I would like to interact with you. Our guests would like to interact with you. And until we meet again, happy holidays and catch you later. Thank you and have a good night.